So I did a whole video on my knit pieces that I have made over the years, and I forgot to put this cardigan in it because it lives in my bedroom, which is kind of where I take most of my pictures, which makes sense why you usually see it on me in my pictures. It doesn't live downstairs on the rack. So today I'll talk about this. I'll go over some of my projects that I'm working on, my latest game that I'm playing, and I'll kind of like rope it into one so it's easy and simple. So this is the Dreamland Cardi by Nicolaj. Trying to find the back of it. There we go. Dreamland Cardi by Nicolaj. I'll put it on in a minute. Here are the sleeves. I did not gauge swatch, okay? I just knit this with hopes and dreams. So it's not supposed to look this way, but this is just how it turned out from me knitting it. I'm honestly even sure that all the yarn that I've spun up for this was too big compared to what the yarn that was supposed to be used. I think it's Daisy Chain that's using this. I'm not sure, but it's a great hand spun project if you have a bunch of hand spun. Mine is really heavy because I think this is like 95% core spun. Core spun is heavier. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but at the time I was living my best life and core spun was that girl. So the back, I'll closer up. The back is Icelandic lamb that I core spun, a white Icelandic lamb. I can't even tell you the show that I got it at or where I bought it from, but I do miss having this kind of fleece. It's like whimsicky and woolly, but because it's a cardigan, I don't feel the itchiness of it. It's actually really, really cozy, and I do put it on sometimes and just like curl up in bed with it if I want. The top, this is an Angora blend bat, which I kind of regret putting there. This is a Surrey, no, it's Kriya. It's a Kriya collar. And then the sleeves, which are kind of like the main attraction to this sweater, are Mo Coyotes bats and I think some stash. So like this is Surrey Alpaca Black. I have some lock spun mohair in here too. I don't even know what this is, but I know I had it and I used it. I spun this up on the farm when I was working there in the greenhouse and knit this sucker up. I wanted something kind of like neutrally, which also why it makes it into so many photos because it doesn't pull. It's not like a hot pink one. It's not like, I don't know, bright yellow. It's just perfectly neutral, which honestly, I love having more neutral knits than anything. These are beads from Kenya, I believe. Thank the Lord I do have it on correspond because they're kind of heavy. And get closer. So yeah, a lot of scraps, Mo Coyotes bats. And then if you look at the front, it kind of comes down to the front. And then I think this is also a Mo Coyotes bat too. I didn't keep any notes on this lovely thing. I didn't even post it on Ravelry. I haven't worn it to a festival. I want to be like, maybe this is the year, but probably not. So as you can see, like this is the shoulder. Strip was supposed to be up here, but it's so heavy that it drags. But it's fine because I just snuggle up in it. Like, but I do love this knit. I love the fit. I love the look of it. It's one of my favorites, but it is the Dreamland Cardi. So I can finally answer those questions. She can get packed up for the summer. Okay, on that note, hand spun. I spun up 3 bats last week. Anything I spin now already has a home. I spun up one of my duos. So this is one half of my duo. And I put locks in it. So I did like, a strip. And then I did some lock spun that I really, really like. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I have one more so I can spin another one like this. Maybe it's a larger project. It's giving me you're going to weave it vibes, So that might be where it's heading. This might not be for a knit. Might be for something woven. But I do adore this as I throw it. This is the Daisy Jones bat. It's a vintage rainbow bat. And what I did was I took Icelandic. Is this correspond? I can't remember if this is correspond or not. Actually, yeah, this is correspond. I took red locks that I had left over from a Green Goat Ranch collab and some Icelandic, and I spun it in between the strips because it's like a 70s bat, right? So I'm thinking like the big poofy collars, like texture. And that Icelandic color gave me like dirty 70s vibes. So that's this bat. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Really don't know. Usually I don't just spin. Usually I have a project in mind and then I spin and make the project. But I went a little backwards this time. I also have no hand spun, so I was trying to build up stash. I also pulled one of my book boyfriend bats. This one is chapter 55. If you know, you know. It's from A Court of Mist and Fury, if I'm not wrong. And I did the same thing. So my manouche, I'm totally butchering that name. I know I am. She's Canadian. She does beautiful like hoods and woven scarves. Like her woven scarves are just like perfection. She had a spinning video where she was just like doing these big blobs. And I haven't done that in a while. So it kind of encouraged me to do the same, which is how this was born. So I took some Icelandic fleece. Again, I have like a stash of like at least 4 or 5 Icelandic fleeces. I hoard them and I use them like a little bit at a time. And some red locks. Again, the same red locks that I use in Daisy Jones. This is chapter 55. And I did this one with bigger little sections of craziness. And I love how Icelandic is on a core because it puffs out and because it is sticky enough, it will felt. I also took mohair and I compiled that on. Like anything that was in that bin, I just kind of added on to one another and made big blobs. There is some caracal in here. I'm trying to find it. There you go. There's the caracal. It's crazy. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this one either. I'm not sure if I'm going to sell it. I'm not sure if I'm going to, I don't want to say knit with it. I could. I definitely would. I have no problem. But I might weave with it instead and like create a little weaving stash. Not that I need more stash of anything, but yeah. So those are my 3 new hand spuns. And then I have been crocheting. Back of my ish. Because the Nicolage MAL has started. I'm actually not going to bring any of my projects with me when I'm leaving, which kind of sucks, but I can't be dragging all that wool all over the place. I wasn't going to do this cardigan, but I saw Amy crocheting hers and it looked really cute. So I wanted to do one. And basically, you just make like a ton of big granny squares and then you add them together. So far, I have 3. I try to like crochet one a night if I have time. The last 2 nights I've been doing my hair, so I didn't. But and I want to actually keep like this chunk of it kind of the same, and then really just change the middle of them. But basically, you just make a whole bunch of squares. You see them together. Obviously, I'm going to probably zhuzh it up, but that's what I've been working on. I bought the shawl, the Sunny Side Up shawl. Yeah, I just haven't started it yet. But I did dye for it. I overdyed my white. So probably when I come back, I'll work on that. But this is my only newish worked on whip. Then I pulled some colors for the Muse Tee because I want another one. I want a couple. This is my ghetto swatch because I didn't want to make a giant swatch and I got really lazy. So this is it. I got to set it so I can measure it. Look at me measuring my gauges. Annoying. La Bien Aimée. Spun right round. Sorella. So these are my 3. This is fingering. This is fingering. This is decay. And then I pulled These two are leftovers from my Bay Ridge shawl. Your fingering. And then, oof, it's a hot mess in here. But I have these two balls. This is Clinton Hill Cashmere, and it was supposed to be a cow, but I never cast it on the cow. And these are DK weight. So I'm thinking that these colors kind of go together. I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's almost too much brown, but these go. But this is not enough yardage, and this is not going to be... How much yardage is this? I saved the thing. 250. Yeah, it's not going to be enough. You need at least 400 yards of DK. I'm not sure about the fingering. I have to figure out the fingering. But you need at least 400 yards of DK. So either got to go back in and pull something, or I don't know, make it even shorter. And mine is already pretty cropped. But I'm thinking that this is going to come with me to where I go on my trip. I'm not telling you where I'm going because I don't want to. But I think this is going to be my one project to take with me. I'm learning not to take multiple projects. Let's just take one because you're not going to knit all of them. And where I'm going is hot. So nobody's knitting like that. So that's that. That's my catch up. I did make new clips. I'll take my hair down. Oh yeah, I might as well just talk about my hair. So this is my new hair. I wasn't going to put locks back in. I was going to kind of take a break from them, but I sweated my braids out with all my Pelotoning. So I had to put back in the locks, and I wanted to do something different with my locks. I didn't want to be too blonde this time. I wanted to be darker. And I always see these ladies who are white, and they have like locks on the bottom and then like loose hair on top. So I wanted to mimic it, which is why there are braids on top here, and then there's more locks at the bottom. You can kind of see like the difference. So I did that, and then I did two blonde in front. I did put hair jewelry in. So this one is new and different. I'm trying it out, and it's a clip-on. This is what this looks like. I just made it today. Has a beautiful little feather. And when you're putting in locks, I've learned that you don't put them like really close to your scalp. You need them to still be movable, which gives you room to clip something in. And then you put a row of hair down, and you can't even tell where one begins. My locks, for anybody who has questions, are not real locks. They are reusable, so my hair actually isn't locked up. I don't think I'll ever lock up my hair. I like the look of the faux lock more than I like the look of an actual dreadlock. I know it sounds weird, but like it makes sense in my head. So I make my locks, for the most part, separate. I wrap, and then I install them in my hair. So all of my hair is braided up. I guess it's like easiest to show you on this. Actually, no, these two I did on my head and I wrapped them because they were short, and sometimes I make them too long when I'm trying to do a color transition. Let me grab this one's fine. So all this lock, I've had this lock for about a couple months. I just loop it into my braid, and then I wrap up the base. And with that, it takes me a lot less time to put them in. I did make a lot of new locks because I wanted darker ones. So for the most part, install time is quick. I can take them out, wash my hair, braid it up, and then do them again. I just prefer to have, different styles in my head. I don't just like having locks. Usually I have like a twist, I'll have a braid with blonde hair. Like I like the mix up of it. So it doesn't work as seamlessly, which is why it takes me a little bit more time. Like even this side has a little bit more blonde than this side, and I'm kind of like mad about it. But this will last me, I want to say 2-ish months for the most part. I can push for 3. I shouldn't push for 3. But if you can't tell that it needs to be done, I'm not changing it. and I'll be happy with it, or I'll probably like, I don't know, try to reduce sections of it and not redo the whole thing. I am happy with how this came out. It does take a couple days to settle. And what I mean by that is like it kind of like, that'll kind of sit where it needs to sit, which might even happen a little bit faster just because I work out every morning. And you have to be careful when you put your locks in because they're still kind of, they're not knotted up yet, so they can unravel, which is what I just did. I just twisted one back in. But I did want to show you my lock stuff in my head. You can even put it like lower if you were worried about it showing. I still, even with the clip-ins, I don't sleep with them. I'm going to take this out and not sleep with it in my head. I probably could because I do have a bonnet on. I don't just be sleeping all wild out here in these streets. But I prefer not to have this sucker in there. But it's very comfortable. I don't feel it. I can't even tell that I have it in until I like look and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. But I hope that answers the hair questions. I forgot to record myself putting one in because by the time I finished it, your girl was spent. It took me all day, one day, and then at least 3-4 hours one night because I was making new locks. So now the process should be a little easier, but like still it took me a good minute. So I had no energy to record. But if you really want it, I'll try my best. Maybe I'll take one out and then redo it. And then last thing is I picked up a new game. That's a lie. I started playing a game that I owned and I bought months ago and never played. And I'm kind of obsessed with it, but at the same time, I'm getting bored because it's not as action packed, but I think I messed up. So I'm playing Potion Permit. It's a cozy game. All I play is cozy games. And you are a chemist who makes potions to heal people who come to your clinic, and you earn money, but you have to get a town to like you because they hate you because the last chemist like destroyed the land or whatever. So there's that. You can romance in it. You do not garden, but you do forage. So you have to go out into like the forest and like collect your ingredients and then wait the next day for them to resprout. You can upgrade your hospital, your place, so you need to get the wood, like that kind of crafty, but not that farming. So that's what I've been playing and I've been obsessed with. And then I bought this case. This part fell off. It's a cute little teddy bear case. The front parts for it, the covers are crap. They fall off, but it was $20. So like you can't be mad, for $20. I just like how cute it is, and I think my case is hours away. I don't have it here. And my Switch is not pink. I just only left this part on it, the little pink part. People always ask me like, "Oh, there's a pink one?" There isn't. I just really love pink. But that's it. Those are my updates. Yay! Bye.